Today's job is doing a stage 1 6L80E. What we do, we're going to upgrade it to hold 550 horsepower. We're going to tear it down, then we're going to upgrade it. Let's go. Okay, you got certain clutches in these transmissions. I'll run them through with you. So this is 2nd and 6th. So this is applied to 2nd and 6th gear. Underneath here, this clutch is low and reverse, so manual first and reverse. The smallest clutch, this is your 4, 5, 6 clutch. This one, as you can see, it's a bit worn. We'll check out the clutches in a minute. This one is your 3, 5 reverse is the top clutch. I don't know if you see the second clutch in here. That clutch down there is your 1, 2, 3, 4 clutch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5 reverse, 4, 5, 6, 2, 6, low and reverse. Heavy. So, a 6L80 planetary versus 4L60. So look at the size difference in the planetaries. That's why they're superiorly strong. They're really tough. Okay, now I'm going to disassemble the clutches in the 3, 5 reverse and the 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get you a bit closer. The drum has a tiny weld here where the hub's welded into the drum. Any excess pressure causes this steel to move, or any excess load, because there's a driven hub in here. The planetary drives off that spline, so it's under a fair bit of stress. So what happens is they start to crack around this pissy little weld here. So that's not a good thing. We upgrade these drums even on our standard rebuilds, but we'll show you our upgraded drum. So it's just welded on one side too, and obviously you can see they machined that weld to clean it up. And the other problem is this top piston here, this one down in here, the very first one you can see. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4 apply piston. They have a habit of cracking. They're just made out of cast aluminium and they're quite thin walled. Every one that comes in is cracked. So I'll show you this piston in a minute. This one's possibly cracked. So we'll check it out and we'll show you the upgrades. Okay, we'll disassemble this drum. I'll show you the pistons. Let's get you down for a look. Okay, this machined edge in here and that apply side of the piston are actually a lot closer than what they look. There's probably only maybe 1.5 mil of aluminium between this machine surface and this back cut machine surface in here, so that's where they crack. They actually crack around, you can probably see it's a little bit grey there. They actually crack around where the rubber seal runs in this drum. So that's where they crack. See, the weld doesn't really penetrate at all. So it's only welded on this one side. So what we do is Sonax have brought out a billet. So it's made from billet aluminium piston. It's about the same thickness, but being billet, it's just a lot stronger than cast. So we use the billet piston instead of the cast piston. And what we do is we TIG weld that hub in, as you can see. So we TIG weld that, so you can see that welds like beautiful, and compared to that little weld there. And we weld the inside as well, so you can see how well that is welded. It's a beautiful job. Okay, we'll get these two clutches out. We're gonna pull the 2.6 out. This is the biggest clutch in the trans. Massive. And the lowered reverse. This is the 456 clutch. Let's get it apart. Yeah, she's had a bit of a slip. Material's hammered. Okay, it's a vane pump. So what happens, the oil gets sucked in the large end and gets squeezed in the tight end. Probably see if I rotate, it'll probably start squeezing. There it goes, look at that. That's how to make oil pressure. Another thing is the pump here. These pressure regulator valves in here wear out big time, so we'll get that out, we'll check it out. Just to show you something else, this here is a pump slide spring. What happens if the pump pressure becomes too great, it'll actually move the rotor housing away from the rotor to lower the pressure. So what we can do is put a heavy duty spring in here so it doesn't relieve as easy, and put a heavy duty pressure regulator valve in here. Let's do it. Okay, let's get this valve out. That was actually quite good, not too bad. So you're starting to get a bit silver here, starting to wear out. Boring stuff again, let's let these clutches soak. Heavy duty Raybestos Stage 1. This is the 456 output hub. If this was a ZF, this would be called a intermediate shaft. So you could call it an intermediate shaft if you wanted to. This is made out of compressed tin. The shaft is quite strong, but this has a sound dampener inside it. So inside here is a metal disc that has friction material in it. So as the clutch slows down, the disc can rotate, stops this hub from resonating because it's made out of compressed tin. So it's quite strong. These are the other two hubs. So this bearing here comes out of the forward hub. That's the factory bearing. You can see it only has one roller per two partitions. So I don't know why they did that, but we used to run this same bearing on our standards and our stage ones, but lately we've been having hardening issues on this Torrington. So we've replaced it with another Torrington we use, which is this one here, which has, it's full of Torringtons and fits nicely into the hub there. Beautiful. Here's the assembled pump. This blue stuff we use is, it's like Vaseline, it's called Smart Blend. What it does is holds everything together, but it melts at a low temperature, so it actually turns into transmission fluid, which is cool. The heavy duty springs have been put in, so you've got the heavy duty pump slide spring, and you can probably see the modified valve and spring in there. Just gets the pressure up a little bit, makes them a bit smarter. See the circlip groove here? That circlip can actually only go in one position. So if you have that circlip in the wrong position, it will hold the circlip out off the groove and will cause a piston and clutch to pop out. So that's got to be in the right position. There it is on the top one too. Circlip right in the right spot. Okay, this is where we air test the assembly to make sure we've got no bleed off. Beautiful. See the bottom clutch apply first. Top clutch, 3/5 reverse. Really good. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put everything here I assembled into this casing. Let's go for it. Okay, I'm going to pull the computer, or the TCM, Mechatronic, whatever one calls it, off the valve body so we could refurbish it. Okay, here's a computer. Got a filter there we replace. And these pressure pads here. This is called a pressure manifold. These pressure sensitive pads tell the computer how much oil pressure is actually being activated on each individual clutch. So what we do is, with these TCMs, the solenoids are integrated into the Mechatronic. So we can't replace those. We can resistance test. So we'll resistance test them. We'll replace this filter unit, and I'm going to replace these pressure sensitive pads. So I'll show you, they're quite tricky to do. You need special tooling, but if these bleed off, you get weird shifts. The computer doesn't know how to adapt pressure correctly for each individual clutch. So we'll refurbish this, and we'll refurbish the valve body. Okay, I'm going to pull these pressure pads apart. I'll film it the best I can. There's a rubber seal. Got it. There you go. There's a little disc in there. Most of the time these discs crack. So they split around the edges and they just have oil pressure leak out of everywhere. So that's one of them out. They're harder to get in, believe it or not. I'm going to stab myself. Two. Oh, it fell apart. There you go, all four of them out. I'm going to wash this and then I'll start assembling it. Okay, here's the tools we use to put them in. Goes inside here. They're very fiddly to use. Here's the kit we're going to use. They give you one spare one in case you fuck it up, which is a bonus. So they're very hard to do. Okay, there's the new discs. They're very thin, they're really hard to use. One might fly out at me, we'll see how we go. Okay, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, first tool we use is this one. So you push it in as far as you can. You can see it's nearly in. Then you use this legged one to push it in the rest of the way. There it goes, it's in. Then you spin it around a few times, make sure it's in there nicely. The little leg will go right under that ledge there. So that's in. Nice new one in there. Now watch, this one's a bit crazier. Okay, so we need to push this whole seal into this tool. So let's try and do it. Okay, so you can see I put the front end in up to the shoulder. Now this tool here will push that inside. Ready? There it goes. So it's in there. Here we go, watch this. Push down as hard as you can. Push that tool. There you go. Check it. It's one done. Not too bad. That's probably the quickest one I've ever done. Do the next one. Beautiful. You don't want some. There you bloody go. Absolutely nailed it. Yeah, new pressure pads. Beautiful. I've rebuilt the valve body. It's quite easy. They're really good valve bodies. All I've done is replace the balls, replace the gaskets, and make sure the valves move freely and make sure none of the valves are scored. So that's done. It takes a while. You probably spend half an hour on the valve body. TCM's done. Filter kit's in it. Resistance tested the solenoids, and I have also replaced the pressure pads, as you can see. And here's a little thing for you as well. A lot of people don't know this. This is called a pass-through connector. This is what passes through the casing. Holden and ZF 6HP26 are the same pass-through connector. So between ZF and GM, same connector. Don't know why, but it is. So there you go. Okay, you'll see this TCM has an operating system number here. It's printed on there, I'll show you. So it's 2424 3178. Okay, what that is the operating system number of the vehicle and of the transmission. So this operating system number can only match engine and body control module operating system number of the same value. So that's like the language that the computers talk to each other on. So me seeing this operating system, I know this is from a late 07 to late 08 Commodore off that number. So they started off with 2423, then they went to 2424, then they're 2425, 2426. Okay, there's 2 or 3 versions of the 2424. So if you had a 2424 and the last 4 digits were different, you can overlay 2424s into 2424s. You can't put a 2424 into 2425. So if the last 4 numbers are different, we can actually program this controller with the right numbers, but it has to have the same first 4 operating system numbers to be able to do it.